Deglobalization is leading nations to focus on economic independence and domestic security. And the US, under President Trump's ICE policy, has exemplified the movement by deporting illegal immigrants swiftly. Australia is seeing similar calls to curb immigration. One Nation Party leader, Pauline Hanson, goes further, advocating monoculturalism and even challenging the Conservative coalition leader, Angus Taylor, on his Australian identity due to their different views. Should Australia pursue a monocultural identity, or would doing so result in regression? First, cultural, in its essence, represents the outward manifestation of a nation's core beliefs and moral compass, expressed through behavior and language. To foster a prosperous nation, its citizens must embody certain values. As Taylor aptly stated, Australians are who accepted Australian value first, believe in democracy, law and order, freedom of speech and religion, equality. Second, no nation is entirely monocultural. Even Japan, after thousands of years of assimilation, still includes two indigenous groups today. Therefore, a great nation must master the art of coexistence, not only with its domestic minority races, but also with neighboring countries, all while preserving its mainstream culture. This ability demonstrates a nation's strength, openness, and absence of xenophobia. Third, the US, standing as a global power, stems from its multiculturalism, a blend of diverse influences, harmonized with its foundational values of individualism, freedom, and equal opportunity. From its colonial beginnings, the US has already been a multicultural society, continually absorbing foreign culture over centuries, building upon its British roots. This melting pot philosophy enables the US to integrate and coexist with various cultural essences, from Italian food and German traditions to Chinatown and Little Saigon, resulting in its worldwide cultural impact, e.g., blues and jazz, Hollywood movies. Likewise, for 2 centuries, Australia has solidified its core values and dominant culture while coexisting with its indigenous heritage and other minority cultures. Its deputy coalition leader, Jane Hume, noted, Australia is already a multicultural society. Embracing monoculturalism would require compelling Indigenous Australians to relinquish their culture, a regressive step backwards. Fourth, multiculturalism reflects humanity's deep desire for peace and harmony. However, when certain political factions push it to an extreme, the national traditions and culture risk dilution. Examples including substituting Merry Christmas with Happy Holidays and seeing Muslims' prayers in public space in London and Sydney. In Australia, the Labour government's official adoption of the acknowledgement of country at the start of meetings exemplifies an extreme approach. Instead of promoting unity, this practice divides the nation by singling out the Aboriginal people with a condescending form of empathy. It also undermines national confidence, pride, and patriotism, leaving many Australians feeling like outside in the country they call home, unable to truly feel they belong. The renaming of Australia Day to Invasion Day by some further highlights the feeling. Ultimately, the Labour government's aggressive promotion of multiculturalism has resulted in Australia losing its cohesive mainstream culture. Fifth, the rise of right-wing governments is a response to the failure of ultra-left-wing, globally influenced administrations. However, promoting monoculturalism is not only unrealistic, but could also dangerously lead to ultranationalism, emphasizing ethnic purity and superiority. We must never forget the nightmares humanity experienced during World War II when the Nazis murdered so many Jews. Angus Taylor highlights that multiculturalism's success lies in people accepting differences while focusing on shared citizenship to maintain national cohesion. Hanson's recent surge in popularity signifies a shift, indicating that Australians are increasingly prioritizing their nation over past globalist-influenced left-leaning policies. This renewed focus highlights the national emergency on self-reliance, economic prosperity, community safety, and a resurgence of pride in Australia's social fabric, culture, and resources. However, this political transition can only achieve when all Conservative parties, Coalition, One Nation, KAP, UAP, etc., politicians and organizations unite under a shared ideology and aligned policies to cement in future elections. This unity must also embrace tolerance for diverse viewpoints to foster effective collaboration across all levels of government and within the broader community. As more Australians awaken and embrace the momentum of Australia First movement, a revitalized nation will emerge. This renewed Australia will stand at the forefront, making significant contributions to global civilization.